Public water supplies are not only expensive and prone to frequent interruptions through leaks and bursts, but they are now also causing significant health issues. According to The Observer, Thames Water recently sent a water sample for laboratory testing after numerous reports of people falling ill with severe diarrhoea and vomiting in southeast London. And that's not all. This incident comes on the heels of another crisis in Devon, where South West Water found disease-causing parasites in household supplies due to a damaged valve. This left thousands without safe drinking water. These events are just the latest in a series of alarming revelations about how private water companies are neglecting pollution and contamination issues. It seems it's not enough that they're tipping raw sewage into our rivers, streams and lakes. They can't even reliably supply fresh water anymore. The health risks posed by these privatised companies should not be taken lightly. The lack of effective supervision by Ofwat, the government regulator, is a significant problem. The only remaining solution appears to be renationalising these companies. Let's rewind a bit. In 1989, Margaret Thatcher and the Tories privatised England and Wales's 10 publicly owned water and sewage industries, generating $7.6 billion in sales. Thatcher promised a new era of investment, claiming it would improve water quality and reduce water bills. But here's the kicker. Thatcher wrote off all the debts of the water companies before privatisation, making them debt-free. Fast forward to today, and reports from The Guardian in 2023 reveal that these companies have now amassed $54 billion in debt. And guess what? This debt hasn't been used for investment in infrastructure and services, but has gone almost entirely for shareholder benefit. Privatisation has not led to the promised investment. Instead, it's diverted money from customer bills straight to shareholders. According to David Hall, a researcher at Greenwich University, most investment in water services come from the inflated bills paid by customers. About 20% of these payments go towards dividends and interest payments. Between 1989 and 2022, the 9 large water companies paid their shareholders a whopping $66 billion in dividends. Let's compare this to Scotland's public water system. On average, Scottish households pay 7% less for their water. The typical water bill in England and Wales is £419, while in Scotland it is £391 estimated. Although the difference in bills isn't huge, Scotland invests 7% more in its water infrastructure and has achieved the highest reduction in pipe leakage of all water companies in the UK between 2004 to 2020, according to a report by Water UK. This shows a clear disparity in investment and the burden on consumers' wallets, highlighting the negative impact of privatisation. Now, let's talk about Thames Water, which has recently been in the news due to its huge debt and the possibility of facing administration. Thames Water is the UK's biggest water provider by the number of customers and the area it covers, making it a perfect case study to assess the supposed benefits of privatisation. Thames Water has a complex business structure with 7 company layers beneath the parent holding company, Kimball Water Holdings. This unnecessary complexity often serves to minimise or dodge taxes and mitigate the impact of regulation. The holding company of Thames Water has accumulated $18.3 billion in debt and is now seeking a $750 million cash injection from shareholders to continue operating. However, this injection of cash isn't forthcoming. What's making the debts of Thames Water and other companies more expensive right now is the rise in interest rates, which means a bigger chunk of their income has to go towards interest payments. Thames Water claims it has enough cash to operate for another 15 months, even if Kimball goes into administration. Their main efforts for survival seems to be based on the idea of significantly increasing water bills. Many campaigners, including the Consumer Council for Water, are warning that average households are already struggling to afford water bills. Mike Keel, the chief executive of CCW, said Thames Water customers understand that investment is needed, but they shouldn't have to pay for the company's past failures. They've already paid a high price through poor service levels and complaints records. Projects like the Tideway Tunnel have faced consistent delays and have been funded by additional charges on consumer bills. The final cost, borne by households, is expected to be $540 million by March 2025 when it becomes operational. Tideway Tunnel now, of course, being Thames Water's new project to remove sewage. While this project represents useful investment, it's disgraceful that Thames Water is making customers cover these costs, especially considering they did not fund a 2010 EU directive to reduce sewage outflows. Instead, they allocated these funds to a new company called Tideway, which they don't even own. Ofwat has prioritised the reduction of sewage, but the situation with Thames Water is a perfect example of water companies prioritising profits over necessary investments. They've contributed to the crisis by diverting sewage into rivers instead of treating it properly, a practice known as flow trimming. An analysis conducted by The Guardian in 2022 revealed that 72% of the profits from the water industry in England went to foreign shareholders. China, Qatar, Abu Dhabi, investment authorities, BlackRock, and individual business tycoons in Hong Kong have all profited from our water. Clearly, Thatcher's vision of a new age of investment was more about investment benefiting foreign shareholders rather than UK water users like B&U. Now, let's have a look at South West Water, which is owned by Pennon. In 2023, the company received a fine for sewage pollution. Less than a week later, thousands of households were advised to boil tap water before drinking it due to cryptosporidium contamination. Despite paying dividends to shareholders, South West Water asked for a 33% increase in bills, raising the annual amount to a staggering £644. The water companies have clearly failed us. They prioritise shareholders over consumers, pollute the planet, and neglect infrastructure, leading to water contamination. The solution is clear. Nationalise our water, take it from the shareholders, and return it to the public hands. Access to clean water is a fundamental right, not a privilege. At the beginning of this general election, I canvassed for my local Labour Party and found that most people are clamouring for water utilities to be publicly owned. A 2023 YouGov poll showed that 69% of the public supports nationalising water companies, with only 8% opposing it. Recent cases involving Thames and South West Water will likely increase support for public ownership. It's evident that the current privatised system is not effective. With the impeding Ofwat decision, Labour could easily gain support by committing to public ownership of water companies. Labour should include this in their manifesto and return control of water to consumers, not the shareholders. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment down below, subscribe to our channel. You can read the full article in the description below. Subscribe to our newsletter at our website, www.lefthorizons.com, and we shall see you next time.